Greetings fellow tank commanders. In this video I'm going to be showing you a game that I played in the SU-100Y. This is a tier 6 Soviet premium tank destroyer with regular matchmaking. The game I'm playing is a standard battle on Lakeville with tier 6 as the top tier and no artillery. I plan to start off this game by sniping across the lake from the middle of the map. I was hopeful that this T-14 would continue going forward up the road and spot out some enemies for me. However, the T-14 stops and does not move far enough forward to spot out any of the snipers or enemies streaking towards the city. Without spotters, this position is pretty useless, and now an enemy light tank doing a scouting run across the lake spots me out, and I have no choice but to run away. It's definitely not the start to the game I was hoping for. Getting early game shots across the lake with tanks like the SU-100Y can have a huge impact on the game, but at least I'm able to one-shot this light tank. You gotta love having a 130mm caliber at tier 6. Pretty much any low tier target that you hit with one of your premium AP rounds is either going to be dead or an easy target for your teammates. I was hopeful that my medium tank that had gone up the road would be able to spot out some of the enemies farther back, so I wanted to move up and support him. It's always risky taking a second chance on a position that was unsuccessful the first time, but there really isn't anywhere I'd rather be fighting on this map with the SU-100Y in the early game. I'm rewarded with a great target, a full health T-14 heavy tank, and look at that premium AP round just punish him. Unfortunately, I get spotted out and I'm not able to stay and finish him off, but my teammates do that for me. Now that my medium tank teammate just in front of me has fallen, it's no longer safe to stay this far forward on the path, so I'm going to roll back and seek cover behind the ridgeline at the start of the road. I get a chance here for an on-the-move damage hit on that Churchill 3, but I'm a little slow on the shot and end up only shooting his track. Now that Churchill 3 is tucked in nicely around that corner, so I'm not too interested in trying to get a shot in on him. So I'm going to try to get a shot on the tier 6 Skoda that's hidden behind a rock just a little bit farther up the path. Taking out a soft tier 6 target like that at this stage in the game would be very helpful to my team, who's down by 4 tanks at the moment. My patience pays off and that Skoda walks right into my shot. I had a little bit of tunnel vision at this point and didn't realize that our right flank had fallen. And I get a little too greedy here trying to get a shot in on that Churchill 3, because that would be a nice target to sink one of my premium AP rounds into. But I'm not able to find the gun depression over this ridgeline, and I allow that Churchill 3 to get a couple of easy damage hits on me. This is a bit of an awkward situation to be in. There isn't really a great place here at the moment to hide from these flanking tanks, and unfortunately my shot goes into that tier 4's track, which means that he has all my reload to shoot at me. But I'm able to roll down this hill and it's enough to angle my armor so that the enemies bounce, and the tier 4 tank doesn't get so lucky on that second shot. I'm still bouncing a few shots here from being angled down this hill. This is not a common occurrence with the SU-100Y, but the strategy is working against those puny tier 4 guns. I have my AP rounds in at this point to deal with these low health targets. Since I don't need a massive damage output on these enemies, I just want the increased reliability from the penetration. The tier 4 light tank realizes his predicament and tries to make a run for it, but he made his move just a little too late. My team has been able to turn this game around and we now have a 2-tank advantage. I was going to just go pile in with my teammates on the base, but decided to turn around and look for stragglers that might have been coming from that right flank. Turns out I made a good choice, and I'm able to sink a premium AP round into the OI's side, and I really couldn't believe this. The OI bounced off my tank. Against tier 4s, yes, it kind of makes sense, but against this tier 6 heavy tank, I just got very lucky. The OI tries to get around me, but still is exposing his flat side, and I get that very easy damage hit to finish him off. Now, despite my success against the OI, the enemy KV-2 has done a great job at defending his base, and now it's only a 2-on-1 battle. I have decided to take up the right flank in case the KV-2 tries to make an assault move on this side of the map, while my Easy 8 teammate goes up the center of the map to try and put pressure on the surviving enemy from a different direction. Now, there are pros and cons, of course, to splitting up in this situation. Against a lot of other tanks, it might have been more beneficial to just stack up with each other and assault the KV-2 as one. But a tank like the KV-2 is extremely powerful, and if he got an early shot in on one of us while we were crossing an open space, he would have just been able to roll behind cover and have a chance to reload before he was put under any real pressure. This way we're making it difficult for the KV-2 to use his large and unwieldy 152mm cannon, as right now he's trying to hide from shots from 2 different directions and with a very large profile tank. I started off on my premium AP rounds here, not because it was necessary for me to destroy him, but because I wanted to get as much damage on him as possible in case my medium tank teammate decided to make a move on him. This surviving KV-2 has a pretty good location to make a final stand, and if my teammate or I try to make a move on him, he'll get an easy shot in that direction, and it would be very challenging for us to coordinate a proper assault on him at this point. I wish I had been in a little better coordination with my teammate here, signaling him to halt at least. That way we were on the same page about what we were doing, but I'm very impressed that he manages to keep his cool, because at low tiers sometimes players get a little anxious and end up making a foolish charge. And look at this, finally I managed to get a shot in on the very tip of the KV-2's turret. That's a 423 damage hit from my regular AP round since I ran out of the premium ones. And at this point I'm just planning on waiting until the RNG goes in my favor. Not everyone will agree on how my teammate and I handled this situation, but I don't feel bad being a little bit cowardly against a tank like the KV-2. And look at that, once again RNG goes in my favor and I managed to hit the very tip of his turret and finish him off. Now let's check the post-game stats and see how I did. For this game I managed to earn 109,000 silver with a 25% silver earning bonus, and I managed to earn 4,168 experience without any multipliers. In this game I dealt 3,684 damage, assisted with 243 damage, and destroyed 7 enemy vehicles while blocking 1,120 damage. This earned me High Caliber, Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, Top Gun, Devastator, and Steel Wall. I was hoping for a Defender medal considering I fought so many enemies that were assaulting my base, but there wasn't enough capture points reduced. I placed at the top of my team, earning a base XP of 2,137. I managed to hit 12 of my 14 shots and penetrate 10 of those. This is some pretty good accuracy considering I was relying almost entirely on RNG for that shot at the end on the KV-2. I didn't do much in terms of crew and module damage this game. I destroyed the fuel tank in the A-20 and injured the gunner in the KV-2. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing that slightly unusual game for the SU-100Y, and that you'll be able to use a few of these strategies when you find yourself in a less than ideal situation. Stay tuned for more awesome World of Tanks videos.